50 Cent's Diddy documentary might just be the ultimate nail in the coffin, y'all. It's finally here after 2 years of hype. 50 Cent's long-awaited docu-series, Diddy: The Reckoning, has finally dropped. As promised, the documentary contains some shocking, humiliating revelations about Diddy's out-of-control behavior. But that's still not the whole story. Ever since the documentary dropped, there's been legal threats and rumors that there might be more content on the way. That's exactly why we're doing a full breakdown on everything we missed from 50 Cent's Diddy doc. Did Diddy really set Biggie up to be murdered in LA? What did jurors from Diddy's trial reveal about the case? And what shocking accusations did one of Diddy's former artists make about him? We've even done a play-by-play on the allegedly unauthorized footage that 50 Cent is accused of stealing from Diddy. What secrets does the footage reveal about Sean's inner circle? And how did 50 get his hands on Diddy's private videos? Finally, we're gonna take a closer look fallout from the doc, from all the ways 50 is trolling Diddy in prison, to 50's promises that he might be holding back more, and seen Diddy footage. I'ma get off the phone right now, and I am gonna let you professionals look at the situation and come back to me with a solution. One of the biggest revelations in the dark is Diddy's twisted relationship to Biggie Smalls. And a lot of info comes out from Kirk Burrowes, who co-founded Bad Boy Records with Diddy. Back in the day, according to Burrowes, Diddy hated that Biggie was friends with Tupac. Shocker. Sean was insanely jealous of Biggie and Pac's friendship with Sean. Being a marketer, you're a manipulator, and there's envy for people who have success. Fame with no manipulation. It seems that Diddy was scared that Tupac would lure Biggie out of his clutches, and that fear was a huge reason why the West Coast beef kicked off. But Burrowes went even further, claiming that he thinks Diddy was directly involved in Tupac's assassination in Las Vegas. He even says that Diddy ordered Burrowes to send drivers from Harlem to drive clear across the country to Vegas days before Tupac was shot. And all these years later, Burrowes still believes that Diddy wanting his crew from Harlem to be in Vegas before the Tyson fight was very suspicious. I think that Sean, now, in my mature mind, had a lot to do with the death of Tupac. For the record, the man currently accused of shooting Tupac, Keefe D. Davis, has long alleged that Diddy offered him $1 million to carry out the hit, and now one of Diddy's most important business partners basically backing up the same theory. But it goes deeper than that. Kirk Burrowes also talked extensively about Biggie's final days alive, including how Diddy forced him to travel to LA. Burrowes says that Biggie hated the idea of going to LA, especially cause it was pretty much enemy territory. Diddy forced Biggie to perform at the Soul Train Awards, where he was ruthlessly booed by the audience. And while Burrowes said he arranged for Biggie to leave LA and go to London, where he could be interviewed by European journalists, Diddy swooped in and canceled the trip. At the last minute, I'm calling Biggie like crazy. What's going on? Wake up to. He's like, yo, Puff is bugging. He just called me and told me, I want you to stay here in LA. I don't want to stay, I want to go. But Sean was adamant, cancel the flight. Biggie's not going to the UK. The crazy thing is, if Biggie got on that plane, he'd still be alive later that night. Biggie was murdered right in front of Diddy, and the timing could not be any more suspicious. Even crazier is that Kirk Burrowes said that Diddy originally planned on paying for Biggie's funeral. When he saw how expensive it was gonna be, he decided to make Biggie's estate pay for it instead. And then Diddy profited off of his so-called friend's death with I'll Be Missing You. It became one of the top-selling singles of all time and a Grammy Award-winning smash hit. And after refusing to pay for Biggie's funeral, Diddy danced all over the VMA stage while raking in millions of dollars. The way Diddy snaked Biggie is some sociopath level. The doc also contained tons of accusations from people close to Diddy. Violence was a very normalized part of living in that world. Kirk Burrowes went into detail about how Diddy betrayed him. Even though they started Bad Boy Records together, he claimed that Diddy wanted him to alter Biggie's contract in Bad Boy's favor, but when Burrowes confused, that's when he said Diddy went after him. We've shown sometimes you're humiliated, sometimes you're made an example of, sometimes violent things happen to you. Rose claims that Diddy threatened him with a baseball bat, forcing him to sign away his 25% stake in Bad Boy. And after being forced out of the company he helped start, Burrowes said he was effectively blacklisted from the music industry for years. But bro had even insane
more
details about Diddy's private life. He talked about how he once saw Diddy slap his own mother, Janice Combs, and call her a bitch. Another bombshell revelation came from Aubrey O'Day, who used to be a part of Diddy's girl group, Danity Kane. Now back in the day, Danity Kane enjoyed some massive commercial success. Not only were they the first girl group in history to debut 2 back-to-back albums at #1, but they were also the subject of Diddy's notorious reality show Making the Band. But Aubrey O'Day's interviews in the Diddy documentary shed some disturbing light on what was really going on behind the scenes. O'Day was originally fired from Danity Kane in 2008, and she went into detail about what it was really working with Sean Combs. She read sleazy emails that Diddy allegedly sent her, where he threatened to, quote, turn her out, which is basically him saying that he wanted to prostitute her. He even sent her some intimate photos of himself. This is your boss at your work sending you that email. What happens in real life to anyone else? Your boss gets fired. 6 months later I was fired. I absolutely felt that I was fired for not participating. The documentary also honors some darker revelations. In the interview, Aubrey O'Day discusses a civil suit that contains some really disturbing details. In a sworn affidavit, another woman claims she accidentally walked into a room where she witnessed a, quote, very inebriated O'Day being sexually assaulted by Diddy and another man. O'Day herself says she has no recollection of this, but it definitely fits a pattern of things Diddy's been accused of doing. In the past, there's been dozens of lawsuits filed where Diddy allegedly drugged and assaulted women and men without their knowledge. And O'Day herself says that she doesn't know the whole truth and honestly doesn't want to know. Does this mean I was raped? Is that what this means? I don't even know if I was. And I don't want to know. This dude is a flat-out monster. But 50's documentary sheds light on why the jury decided to acquit him on the most serious charge. He came and got me with a gun. I don't know what's going on, Cassie. What the fuck is going on? If you subscribe to Rap, you know I've had the most thorough coverage on all Diddy allegations, including reporting on the trial every step of the way. I've already done a full breakdown on exactly the Diddy case went the way it did. While Diddy was found guilty on 2 related charges, he was acquitted of the sex trafficking charge that would have gotten him way more prison time. And 50's doc has some more info on why the jury came to their ultimate decision. 50 tracked down to jurors to sit down and give their side of the story. One of the jurors, only known as Juror 160, spoke about how she grew up on Diddy's music but was not, quote, a personal fan. She said that Diddy's violence towards her longtime girlfriend Cassie Ventura was, quote, unforgivable, but she also said that Diddy wasn't explicitly on trial for or domestic violence. Another juror, Juror 75, said that he was confused by Diddy's relationship with Cassie. That was a very interesting relationship. These two people overly love. They cannot explain she wanted to be with him. He took her for granted. He never thought that she would leave her. So it's like both hands clapping together. You cannot clap with one hand. The both hands like this. Then you get the noise. What's going on here? He's beating her next minute. They're going on dinners and trips. It's like going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. These jurors are basically saying I mentioned everything in my earlier videos. Instead of an open and shut case, the feds made their accusations against Diddy super confusing. They tried to get him locked up on racketeering charges instead of focusing on specific moments where Diddy abused people like Cassie. While plenty of people have accused of getting the case wrong, both jurors in the documentary are standing 10 toes in their decision. Juror 75 said that justice was 100% and that he has zero regrets. But one of the trial's key witnesses called bullshit on all of that. Capricorn Clark, who was once Diddy's former assistant, testified that Sean Combs forced her to take lie detector tests. She even claimed that one of her other employees threatened to throw her off a bridge. And in her interview, she claimed that the jurors were starstruck to really take in the evidence against her former boss. I'm watching them as they relate to him. I think they all kind of had a like for Puff. Whenever they looked over it was Puff, like buddy. They were starstruck. That gives a lot of extra context on why Diddy was found not guilty on so many charges. But the wildest part of the documentary is that 50 infiltrated Diddy's inner circle to get never-before-seen pre-trial footage of him. The footage dates back to September 10, 2024, just days before Diddy was arrested, and it features Diddy venting to his lawyer, Mark Agnifilio, about their legal strategy, complaining about being a sitting duck, waiting for the feds to arrest him. "I've listened, I've been a superb client. As you said, I jumped on the plane. I'm coming to New York, but I'm just running around waiting for shooter drop." But he even talked about how he wanted to flood the zone with propaganda in order to change the narrative around his alleged crimes. "We have to find somebody that will work with us, whether they from this country or from another country. It could be somebody that has dealt in the dirtiest dirty business of media and propaganda." When you read between the lines, Diddy's basically admitting to using dirty tactics to change the narrative around him, and by 50 getting his hands on this footage, he's gone behind enemy lines and shown us what it's like to be in Diddy's war room. There's been countless reports of Diddy being super involved with his defense strategy during the trial, and this pretty much proves it. The Diddy footage is easily the most shocking part of 50's doc, and as soon as Diddy found out about it, he went apeshit. Diddy's lawyers filed a cease and desist ordering Netflix to cancel the series and calling 50's doc a hit piece that used stolen footage never authorized for release. "You want to put some stuff in my fanny pack, but 50 is standing on business. Not only is he claiming he got the footage fair and square, but he also promised to protect the source that leaked it to him in the first place." When a journalist tried to press 50 about how he got Diddy's private footage, 50 said, quote, "You're a journalist, right? You're not gonna reveal your sources, so why would you ask me to reveal my sources?" This footage has shown a major legal showdown between Diddy, 50 Cent, and Netflix, but he's still not backing down. It's just competitive energy and things that you say about other artists. While you're in hip-hop culture, 50's doc has already made a huge impact, and there might be more on the way. The documentary has triggered some widespread debate
not only Diddy's legacy, but also on the jury's super controversial verdict. In interviews, 50 spoke about how he wanted to separate hip-hop culture from Diddy's crimes.
If I didn't say anything, you would interpret it as hip-hop is fine with his behaviors.
50 even spoke up in defense of Cassie, calling her a victim and saying that she's been conditioned to accept Diddy's abusive behavior.
I believe Cassie's a victim in all this because she came in as such, she's like 18, like 19 years old in the very beginning, so she only knows that. After a while, over time, you're conditioned for it.
And even though Diddy's lawyers are circling, 50 is teasing even more unseen footage that Diddy himself commissioned and says that he might leak some of the videos directly to social media.
This cannot be all that you have. Is there other stuff that you just have not shown?
Yeah, well, everything couldn't make it was 4 episodes.
Right.
So it was a lot. You had to pick and choose things in the area where he chooses to date people who he knows previously dated someone. He has a baby by a woman that was dating 2.
He has a lot more dirt on Diddy, and he seems to be waiting for the perfect moment to unleash it into the public. Fans even noticed 50 might be directly taunting Diddy by doing interviews with networks like ABC. Quote, finding 50 agreed to do an interview with ABC News station only because it's one of the few stations they're allowed to watch in prison. He's a menace. 50's response, quote, "I thought about it, what's wrong with that? That means Diddy is sitting in federal lockup in Fort Dix, watching 50 talk about him on national television. And this is clearly just phase 1 of 50's warpath against Sean Combs. With more footage on the way, 50 really may have locked in his reputation as the most diabolical op anyone has ever had. We're gonna cover all the 50's moves from here on out. But if you want to hear more about Diddy's involvement with the murders of Biggie and Tupac, I've already posted a full breakdown on the channel. Check it out. Stay locked in, more rap lore on the way.